here, like way more than last time. So, my name is Imogen Viner, I'm 16 years old and in year 11 at Hobart College. Like all of you, I am here because I care about our planet and the effect that we are having on it. But I also know that climate change must come from all levels of society, including the government. By attending today, you are helping us to send a message to them. Their education programs have paid off. We understand the science and we are not afraid to stand up for our futures. When I look at the world, the sight that I see terrifies me. I see governments fall to pieces as their factions fight over pointless policies. I see governments that divide their people where once they united them. And I see teenagers who are better leaders than the governments they lobby, yet who are forced to rebel in order to have their voices heard. I see a world on the brink where our decisions today matter more than ever before. Look around you. Each and every person you see here today has taken a stance. Every single one of the 22,000 of you. Every person here has assessed what they have seen in the media and decided that things have gone too far, that enough is enough. Because enough is enough. You all care about the planet and what we are doing to it. Look around, see everyone here that cares, because we are not alone, and together our voices can and will be heard. By coming here today, you have become all activists. And to quote Greta Thunberg, activism works. But activism only works if people are willing to come together and promote a similar message. Today we see thousands of people gathered here in Parliament lawns. By the time you wake up tomorrow, millions of students will have rallied across the globe, calling for action. We have the people, but what's our message? In Australia, we have 3 key demands. The first is that we want to stop building new fossil fuel projects. That means no new coal mines, no new fracking leases, and no new oil wells. And no more Adani. This will prevent habitat destruction, soil degradation, and the pollution of waterways, preserving ecosystems for future generations. Equally important, it will make these commodities scarce and thus create an economic incentive for companies to move towards renewable energy, something we can already see happening. This transition plays into our second demand. We want the federal government to commit to 100% renewable energy by 2030. According to an IPCC report, we have only 10.5 years left to curb our addiction to fossil fuels. Now, who here is aged 7 years or less? Or has a child, a family member, a friend, or a sibling aged less than 7? We will know whether we have irreparably damaged the planet before they graduate from college. The future of this planet will be decided before they are allowed to vote. Their entire adulthoods and our entire working lives will be affected by what we do in the next 10 years. It really matters. To ensure that the future is one that the youth want to live, we need to stop burning all fossil fuels by 2030. That means coal and gas, but also petrol and diesel. Things we've been reliant on for decades. The fossil fuel industry is now one of the institutions of our society. We need to start reducing our dependence on it now, before it's too late. Because climate change is not a homework assignment. You can't leave it till the last minute and still pass with flying colours. But what do we see our governments doing? Do we see them creating sensible policies? No. We see them willfully ignoring the science on climate change. We see them approving coal mines that have neither economic nor environmental justification in order to win a few political points. And we see them using taxpayer money, using our money to build privately owned coal-fired power plants because the companies they pay see that it's no longer a viable investment. And how do they justify these actions? They talk about jobs, how these projects will create jobs, how environmental policies will destroy jobs. Now, I'm not an expert in this, And I'm sure the unionists here today will be able to give you more detail. But I'm pretty sure there's no point in people having jobs when their farmland has eroded and their dinner tables have flooded. So our last demand is for the government to fund a just transition. This means that we want them to commit to retraining programs to ensure that workers in climate-affected industries will not become unemployed. We will not punish people for the industries they once worked in. We will help them into safer and greener jobs. Because it should never be the economy or the environment. Because the economy is the environment. These three demands could form the basis of Australia's climate policy and help to create a better future. One where teenagers do not need to rebel, where children do not cry on the steps of Parliament House, and where youth can choose to follow their passions rather than be guilt-tripped into a climate career. But for that to happen, we need your support. We need you to tell your MPs about climate concerns, to demand them to make sustainable decisions, and to condemn them when they don't. So write them a letter or give them a call. Create a relationship that makes you hard to ignore. And if you are old enough, express your opinion in the way that matters most, by voting. And as you head out on your climate activist journey, don't forget to do the little things too. Turn off the lights you aren't using, walk or ride instead of driving. Pick up that piece of rubbish everyone else has stepped over. Ask yourself if you really need that new phone or those new jeans. Cut back on your meat consumption or cut it out entirely. Because it's no longer our grandchildren or even our children's future we're fighting for, but our own. Thank you.